Yeah. So there's like no true way to start this. Normally I give a bit of an intro.
Mhm.
Um, but you just told me that you got a podcast. I think it's best if we start with that actually. So first off,
Okay.
let me give the proper intro, ladies and gentlemen. This is Queen Pedii, a singer, reviewer, podcaster, as I just learned. How's it going?
I'm good. And it's actually Petey, Queen
Petey.
Petey.
I thought it was
Mhm.
Petty.
Everybody thinks it's petty, and I'm okay with that.
So if it's
I'm
Petey,
a little petty.
why did you put two E's?
No, it's one E and two I's.
Yeah, I'm saying, why didn't you put two E's?
Oh, well, my best friend came up with this name, so I
Okay.
just go with it.
Oh my God.
That's how she always spelled it.
I thought it was
Yeah.
Petty the whole time. I'm like, oh, that's so
Yeah.
clever. She calls herself
I
Petty,
know.
but it's
I'm
Petey.
petty. I am petty, but
Yeah. So that's
But
interesting. I was doing all of this research. I'm looking at your YouTube. I'm listening to your songs, and you don't mention your name once. So I'm like, okay, it must be
petty.
Petty, but it's Petey.
It's Petey.
That's
Yeah.
super cool. So first
Yeah.
off, tell me about your podcast. How did that
Uh,
come about?
Okay, so I originally had another podcast like years ago, like
Hmm.
back in 2012. It was called PD Talks Music. So I used to interview like artists and stuff like that around the DMV. And then I stopped that due to I got sick. So I was like, okay, let me just get myself back together. And then by that time, I was like, you know what? I kind of want to do something else. And I put out a thing on Facebook and I say, who wants to be part of a podcast? And three of my friends were like, hey. So that's how it just came about. It's called Not Your Normal Discussion. So we talk about everything. And we talk about politics, entertainment, mental health, especially in our community. It's just, it's a wild time.
Yeah. So wait, I'd imagine it's on every streaming platform,
YouTube and Facebook.
YouTube and Facebook.
Yeah.
So
We
that's
used
pretty
to be on
cool.
Twitch. Yeah. But
So
yeah.
how long are like your episodes typically? Like an hour, 2 hours?
About an hour and maybe 10 minutes, or depending on like what the conversation is and how it's going and how it's flowing, we might go 2 hours. But yeah, we're on there a long time.
I find that when you are with your friends, that time flies by so fast with podcasts where
Hmm.
you have to like limit yourself. You're like, okay, I'm not going to talk this long.
Yeah,
We have to do this because if we don't, it'll just be us enjoying ourselves too much.
yeah. And in a way, that is what our podcast is us enjoying ourselves, having conversations.
Hmm.
But we have had to have those talks where we're like, hey, you kind of over talking because my boyfriend is actually our engineer producer.
Hmm.
So he definitely gets on us about that. He's like, hey, look, you guys were talking too long, and I'm like, okay, like gotta cut it short, gotta cut it short.
Yeah, if I have to mix and master a 2 hour podcast, a 3 hour podcast.
Oh God, he's like, please, Lord, just
Yeah.
just just cut it short. I'm like, okay.
So, in my review of you, before we get to the music, your YouTube, why you stopped?
I know I had to take a moment
Hmm.
for myself because my grandmother has been sick. Well, had been sick, but she did pass on New Year's Eve, but I was really dealing with that and I didn't feel as creative as I usually am. But
Hmm.
I was like, hey, let me just like throw the songs out here to keep like the algorithm going. But yeah, I wanted to put my trip to the Dominican Republic on there. And it's still being edited, you guys. It'll be on there, I promise. The horse riding and the ATVs, everything. So,
I was enjoying looking at your trips, looking at your reviews of the products. I thought those were pretty cool. And what I thought was awesome was you making dog treats.
Yeah.
That's still
I,
something that you do?
oh yeah. Oh man. Like I cook for my dog. My dog is my child. I don't have actual children yet, so I like to treat her as like my little one, and my cat as well. I have a kitty cat too. Um, but yeah, I love making food like for humans and dogs. And like if I have a party for her, I usually do both sides of the spectrum here. I make food for the doggies and I make food for the humans.
So,
Yeah,
oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
oh no, I was saying I love it.
First off, what are their names?
My dog's name is Runput. She's named after an Egyptian goddess.
Mhm.
And my cat's name is Countess Midnight.
Those are so awesome. I find that when you're naming a pet, you have to give them multiple names.
Yeah, she has they have middle names. So Rumput is Rumput Layla Purcell, and Countess Midnight is Countess Midnight Nefertiti Purcell.
never, ooh,
That's
fancy. I did
yeah. Oh, I
it.
stick with the Egyptian stuff here because
Yeah.
I am Egypt. Well, my dad's side of the family is Egyptian, so I try to keep that going
Yeah.
in my in my daily life.
Do you like do a lot of research on it?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, because I'm actually related to King Tut,
Ooh,
and yeah, and my
really?
dad always told me that. He said you're related to him,
Yeah.
and just always be proud of yourself, basically. And yeah, I've done a lot of research into it, and we even did the DNA. The DNA came back said, "Yeah, you are." So, because nobody believed it, because people they don't know of him having his own children, or the children he did have, they died in infancy.
Mhm.
So, they forget about the other
Mhm.
34 kids
Yeah.
that were there, So yeah, I do a lot.
I promise you, if I found out I was related to King Tut, you wouldn't be able to tell me nothing.
Oh, you can't tell me nothing, honey. Can't tell me nothing.
Do
I'm
you
related to a lot of people, actually. It's so interesting.
do you ever bring that up to your boyfriend? Like anytime there's a debate or a discussion like, hey, I'm related to King Tut.
No, I don't, because we really don't get into debates like that.
Yeah.
We're very like calm with each other,
Mhm.
so we don't really fight like that.
And that's
Mm.
super cool. That's super, and that's also something that I noticed in your videos. I'm like, they're so great.
Yeah. Yeah. He's great with me. Like he's definitely leveled my stuff up.
Yeah,
Like it's been a great 3 years.
that's super cool. All right. So let's talk about the music. And my my first question, what is chicken nugget pressure?
Okay. So Chicken Nugget Pressure, it was actually intended as a joke song,
Yeah.
like to my boyfriend, because he told me a story about how he was a kid and they went to KFC and he thought he was getting chicken tenders, but they gave him the bone-in chicken. And he's like, oh, when I bit into it, it like cracked his tooth in the back. And yeah, he was like, I was biting into it like chicken nugget pressure. And I said, "What chicken nugget pressure?" Like I definitely teased him for like a month on that one. All of us, like all the friends and everything, was just teasing him about it. And I was like, you know what? Let me make this little song here, just as a joke. But
Yeah.
it just seemed to, be kind of popping.
And it's such a good song too. It's
Thank
such a good
you.
song. I appreciate that. A lot of, well, the music that you have that I was able to look up, they have such a commercial vibe to them.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
intentional?
It's intended. Because I love dancing. I love like just being able to just swing. And I wanted my first album to have songs on it that could get onto the radio,
Mhm.
could be on like a movie, for kids or something. And I mean, it's just, I want it to be successful.
Mhm. That's super cool. And regarding the first album, are you working with producers? Can you give me some details about it?
Me,
Is
I
this
work
all
with
you?
me. It's me. It's all me. I
Oh,
write the songs, I produce
mhm.
the songs, I do all of it by myself. It is hard, y'all. Don't think that y'all just gonna pop in there and boom. It's hard. It takes time because especially when you're trying to write a song that makes sense, that
Mhm.
doesn't like sound like the mumble garbage. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Sorry to anybody that has mumble garbage.
Yeah.
But it's hard sometimes because you have to kind of pull it out,
Mhm.
like especially like deep memories. You're wanting to like pull it out of yourself and how am I going to make this sound right when it comes, down to the song
Yeah.
and how it sounds and how people are going to interpret it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And when you're like, first off, how far along is the album if you're doing literally
Uh,
everything?
so I'm hoping to release it in February.
Oh, okay.
Not sure what day in February, but I'm hoping February. I have about 8 tracks already, just already ready to really go, but the rest I'm still working on.
I find that with artists, even if they create everything themselves, they have that one favorite where they're like, oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
can't get this out of my head. What is it?
It's Euphoria. I love that song. That I feel like that's like the best song I wrote
Mhm.
because it was talking about somebody like from my past that I'm not gonna get to that, but just someone from my past that like I really did like care about and stuff
Mhm.
like that. But and it's just the lyrics and the way that it sounds is just so like what's the word? It's not engaging, but it's
Yeah.
so yummy to me.
Mhm. I love that because yeah, Euphoria is definitely one of those songs where
Yeah.
I heard it and I was like, oh, this is very unique. Okay, I haven't heard something like this sound. Okay, it's pretty cool. And to learn that you did it all yourself, that's even more impressive. Like
Yeah.
that's awesome. I thought you were working with like different producers or maybe going to a website even.
No. No, I have to do it myself because I'll be honest, like I've always had this fear because when I was younger, like when I was doing voice lessons, um I used to kind of sing a little bit at school and a teacher told me I sounded like a howling wolf.
What?
God rest her soul. But yeah, I don't.
I
But
would.
my aunt always said I sounded like kind of like a Mariah Carey Jr. So
Mm,
yeah,
I
not a
love
wolf.
that. And I couldn't put my finger on it. I'm like, okay, she doesn't have like she doesn't necessarily have like a theater voice.
Mm-mm,
At the same
mm-mm,
time, it's not a choir voice. Like it's not like a church voice either.
mm-mm.
So
Nope.
yeah, you were part of neither of those. You said you took vocal lessons.
Yeah.
How long have you been singing?
Oh God. To be honest, I've been singing since I was like 5. But like the vocal lessons, my mom was like, you know what? This she has something.
Mhm,
So she put me in there at about maybe 13, 14.
mhm,
And I would go after school. And I also did piano, so I know how to play the piano as well.
mhm,
But yeah, yeah, I've been singing since I was like 5, and I remember being outside, and um, it was like a blackout or something, and I was singing like our school song,
mhm,
and my neighbor was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna cry," and I was just a little kid, and I'm like, "Oh wow, I didn't know that." I
mhm.
could do that. Make a grown person cry with my voice. It was really interesting to me. And I was like, let me keep going.
Mhm. And that's super awesome. All right. So regarding the album, are there any features?
No,
No
this
features.
is all
Is J.
me.
Cole in it?
Oh no. No, well, I want to do a couple of features. There are a couple of my friends that I do want to have on my album. But as of right now, no. But maybe if I put out like a deluxe or something,
Hmm.
maybe they can be on like a remix of
Yeah.
Kawaii Ho because they are definitely cute as hell.
So I was also wondering that what is a Kawaii Ho?
A Kawaii Ho is a cute hoe. A very cute hoe, honey. So I came up with that like randomly. I don't even know why. I just was like, you know what? I'm a kawaii hoe. I love Hello Kitty. Like I know you can't see like behind
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
but like I have a million and one Hello Kitty things in here. I remember like the first time I got like some Hello Kitty trading cards. Oh,
Mm,
like crazy, right? So yeah, I've always been into like anime and stuff like that. Like, cause I grew up with brothers, so that's all we watched. And I was okay with that, and I'm
yeah.
cool with it. Um, but yeah, Kawaii, I'm not a hoe though, y'all. Just let y'all know I'm a one woman, a one man woman.
One on one. All right. Yeah.
I'm monogamous, y'all, before y'all go cuckoo. But no, it was just one of those songs I felt like it's a lot of girls that do cosplay and um they love anime and they're so kawaii and they needed something to shake their butt to. Okay. And I was like, let me give them this.
Yeah. So wait, are you into cosplay?
Yeah.
All right.
Mhm.
So what's like the last cosplay that you did?
So I know it's gonna sound wild, but Sailor Moon, I did do Sailor Moon for Halloween last year. So
Ah, that's
yeah,
super cool.
thank
You
you.
have you posted photos? I would love to see. Oh, I didn't go back to check them. I don't know how I missed them.
Hold on, hold on. Can am I able to share or something? Yeah, I don't
I
even know if it's on here.
yeah, yeah. I'm not
Not even
sure.
on my phone, my computer though. It's on like my Blue Sky. Like if you
Okay,
go
okay.
all the way down, those are like the first pictures that I
Ah,
put up with me. And it was another Sailor Moon at the yacht party I went to as well.
that's super
So,
dope. All right,
and
so
Tuxedo Mask.
regarding music, what albums were you listening to? Any albums that helped like inspire some of the music that we'll hear on the project?
Um, so definitely Michael Jackson Behind You.
Oh yeah, off the
I'm
wall,
gonna
yeah.
tell you that that album, I played it to death. Okay, I knew that whole album, front to back, back to front. Okay, that was my album. I thought I was going to marry Michael Jackson. Okay, but definitely Michael Jackson because there's a song called "Leave It on the Dance Floor"
Ooh.
that kind of is reminiscent of "Rock with You" a little bit. Mhm.
Oh, I can't
So
wait to hear it.
that's coming out. That's going to come out with the actual album. I
Okay.
was going to put it out as a single, but I was like, no, let me put out the other ones.
Yeah, because you got three singles, which is like, okay, that's like the standard right there.
hmm And I also Megan. I will say Megan
Mm.
the Stallion definitely inspired Hawaii Ho.
I
She
love
definitely
that.
did. So, but Mariah Carey definitely Whitney Houston. Those not any particular albums from them, but just them themselves.
That's super cool. All right, and I just got one final question. My last question I love to end everything with. Is there anything you want to put out there to the world, let the people know about your album, your project, or just yourself that you want everyone to know?
Um, so the album, if you guys don't know, is called Thoughts of a Mad Woman. Okay, it'll be out in February. Um, let's see. I also have a nail polish line, you guys. It is vegan. I actually have it on right now. It's kind of cracking. It's been on for about 2 weeks now.
Still look good though. Still look great.
Thank you. I love, love, love it. It's my baby. Um, I have made coloring books, you guys, and I wrote a book about my dog and I's little adventures and her being in the ESA.
That is super awesome. That is my last question, ladies and gentlemen. Queen Pedii. I did it right that time. Thank you very much.
You are so welcome. Thank you.
Of course.